Do you want to know what compassion looks like? Art Garfunkel, half of the duo Simon and Garfunkel, when he was a freshman at Columbia University, he met Sandy Greenberg. They became fast friends over their love of art and music, and they eventually became roommates. But during their junior year, Sandy started to lose his eyesight and he was going blind. And he saw his whole future sort of disintegrate before his eyes, literally. And he decided to give up. And he quit school and he went back to Buffalo, and he didn't want to be a burden on his friends or his family. And he just shut himself off. He shut himself off from his friends and his education and his dreams of a successful future. Well, his best friend, Art Garfunkel, was having none of that. And he literally flew to Buffalo, knocked on his door, and convinced his friend to go back to Columbia and finish school. And he promised his friend, I will never leave you. I will be by your side. And it worked. So Sandy went back to Columbia, and Art adjusted his schedule so he could help escort his friend around campus to get to his classes. And at one point, he actually took Sandy to a crowded Grand Central Station and stopped him and said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I have to leave. And he left his best friend there alone in the dark to try to navigate his way back to campus. And Sandy later said he was so mad, and he was stumbling and he was falling and he was getting scraped and he was running into people, but eventually he made it back. And this was his first time of navigating alone public transportation in New York City. And once he arrived at his home platform from the train, he heard a voice, and that voice said, excuse me, sir. And it was his best friend, Art Garfunkel. He actually never left his side. He followed him all the way back to campus, and he ensured that he was safe. And Sandy said it was literally a turning point in his life because he realized he could be independent. He could navigate through the darkness. And it was because of his friend that was there to help him. And then when Simon and Garfunkel wanted to produce their first record, they didn't have the money. So Art went to his friend Sandy to borrow $400 to produce their first album. And Sandy did not have a lot of money at the time. And he literally, no problem, wrote the check, and they published their first album and went on to huge fame and fortune. And then Sandy did complete Columbia University and then got advanced degrees from Harvard and Oxford and became very successful. And I love the story of compassion and kindness of Art Garfunkel, who showed to his friend and promised to his friend, I will never leave you. I will be, I like to say, the usher illuminating the path. He was the usher for his friend and literally helping him navigate the darkness through his own light. So on this Front Row Friday, I encourage you to show compassion and kindness, because maybe, just maybe, there's somebody out there who is starting to give up on their dreams and giving up on maybe their hopes and their desires. And maybe, just one act of kindness on your part can be the turning point that changes the trajectory of someone's life. I hope that is the case. I hope that happens. So happy Front Row Friday, everybody, and we'll see you next time. And please share with me stories of compassion and kindness that maybe someone has given to you that changed the trajectory of your life. Have an amazing day. We'll see you next time.